Welcome back to Smarter Than Yesterday. Today, we're joined by somebody who knows the true meaning of structure, discipline, and dedication. Louis Walker. How are you, mate?
Good, thank you. How are you?
Fantastic.
Yeah. How's your day been? What have you been up to today?
Recovering from Cheltenham yesterday, to be honest, boys.
Yeah.
Went for a bit of breakfast with my mum and then that was about it, really.
Yeah. What, so you at Cheltenham yesterday? Cheltenham races, is it?
Cheltenham races yesterday, yeah.
Yeah. Long day?
Long day. Started at 10:30 and then that was about it. I can't remember most of it.
Good day.
So Louis, your journey through bodybuilding over the years, and it feels like from what I can see from you, it's evolved to something much bigger. And I understand you're doing a bit of coaching now, but what I want the listeners to hear really is take us back. What was it that drew your eye to bodybuilding? Were you athletic in school? Did you do, the football, the rugby, those sorts of things? And hopefully by the end of this sit down, we're going to get to where you are today, really, and what your goals are for the future. So tell us a little bit about you.
Started playing football when I was a young lad. Didn't really get on with it. I had 2 left feet. So gave that up. Started playing rugby, enjoyed that a lot. Went quite well with rugby. And then I stopped playing rugby then when I was 16, just kept getting injuries. Like ripped my ACJ ligament in my shoulder. And then did my patella in my knee, broke my wrist twice. So it's got to that point where I was just like, I need something else, something that's gonna not take me there. But in the process of that, I was racing karts. It's basically what Lewis Hamilton and that did before they got into single-seater racing, basically. But unfortunately, I lost a sponsor and just ran out of money to compete at a high level. So we stopped doing that. And then I found, when I was doing my GCSEs, I needed a bit of a release because I was getting so stressed about them, even though they mean absolutely nothing. Because when has anyone ever asked you about your GCSEs?
Yeah.
I started going to the gym, and there was a few like in Halo in Hereford, and there's a few. Well, it's what I call now juice heads, bald-headed blokes that you think, Christ, they're scary, but they're probably the nicest blokes in the gym. I started speaking to them a little bit, training with them occasionally, and then that pushed me then to go, right, I need to start training at a better gym. So I went down to Elite Performance. That was class down there when it was down at Foley Trade Estate. And then we moved there, and I just basically just kept training. And they sort of got to a point where I left Elite 2021 and went and trained at the unit, which now obviously the Connor owns. I went training at the unit, and I loved it down there for a bit. And then I got to start the end of 2022, start 2023, and I was just like, I might give up with this. So it's going nowhere. So I'm just training to look good, and it's not really, I've got no purpose. So I thought, I need to stop this. And then the lad who now coaches me now turned around and said, what on earth are you doing? He's like, your genetics are class. He said, you don't eat that much food. You walk around with a 6-pack all year. He's like, what's the matter with you? So I was like, oh, fair enough. And he's like, let me put you through a proper prep. And then when I did a proper prep, did my first bodybuilding show and fell in love with it again. And ever since then, I thought, well, not everyone can do a bodybuilding show. The discipline for that is completely different to a daily discipline for your diet. But I thought, everyone can do that. So last year, this time last year, I started on my coaching, basically just wanting people to help them lose weight, gain weight, put them in a better mindset, give them some structure, in the ways I've learned how to do it, but without putting them down to the point where they're having chicken and rice every day and, beef, mince and rice. So it's not boring. Yeah. So I've done that. And I've had a few people now that have come in unbelievable shape. 2 of my mates to start with. That really helped me out because they were, ones that have, showed that if they can do it, we still go out and party a bit, still go out and enjoy meals out with the boys or whatever. They still managed to do that, and they've been in good shape.
Brilliant. So what was the initial hook then that got you into that? I know you talked about, obviously you were doing rugby, injured, so was that. What was the hook? Why specifically? Why not triathlon, cooking? Why not something different?
I wanted to look good. I was a bit arrogant, I suppose.
Yeah.
It's the easiest way to be. I just was I thought, if I look good, then,
feel good.
Yeah, you feel good, yeah. It's sort of an arrogance thing, which is you say arrogance, it's probably more confidence than anything else.
Okay, yeah.
If I go on holiday with the boys, make them look like prepubescent boys. You know what I mean? That's the goal.
Yeah.
And it just went from there. And then you see these other lads that are massive. But to be honest, saying that, going back when I was a young kid, you'd see like bodybuilders on telly. You think, I'd love to look like that, and then not realise what actually goes into it.
Yeah.
And then find out what goes into it makes it even more interesting. You know, water manipulation, all sorts of stuff that you don't even think about. So it's one of those things really that I just fell in love with it there, especially training with those older lads and seeing how they do it. That's always been key for me, training with people that are stronger than me or bigger than me, so I can then go, well, how are they doing that? And then, get the information, you gain knowledge. And this is where you end up with like stuff that people go, how do you know how to do that? I sort of just experience.
Yeah. And at the point then that you said you almost walked away, obviously your coach brought you on board, and said, let me just put you through something to change your mindset, because you're at the point where you're like, why am I doing this? What did you learn from him to change that mindset, to not just give up? Like you say, you naturally had that physique, you naturally had the drive, and you could turn up every day and you could train. What I don't know, how did he come up to you? How did he approach you? And then what did you learn from him when he started coaching you?
Well, I've been mates with him for years anyway. Like, I used to train with him at Elite, and then we both basically moved at the same time down to the unit. I train with him occasionally, but if my shifts didn't align, like I was still I was an engineer at the time, so I was doing night shifts and all sorts. So, obviously I couldn't train with him all the time, but when I did, I always had a good session with him. And then he was like, mate, you don't eat half as much as what I do. You don't take any gear. He was like, you literally lift nearly the same as me. He's like, what's wrong with you? He's like, why would you give up? He's like, it's something you're clearly good at. He's like, it'd be stupid to see you give it up. So the hook for me really was, he was like, look, if I give you some structure, give you a bit of purpose, will that give you give you an end goal? Will that keep you going? I said, well, look, I'll try it. And he turned around to me when I come off stage, when he gave me a load of donuts, right? Because I hadn't eaten any, I hadn't had a beer, I hadn't had a takeaway, hadn't had any like donuts or, I had any sweet foods or nice foods since March, and I did my show in July. I hadn't had anything like that. He gave me it. He said, there you go, you can have those. And he went, I didn't think you were going to finish that, to be honest, mate. He said, I thought you were going to give up. And he said, you proved me wrong. So, and that's what, I was like his guinea pig, basically. He's now got a couple I don't think he's got anyone doing preps, but he's got people that are on for him now, because he coaches as well. Well, he continues to coach. So, yeah, for for me, it was like that structure, that purpose, something to drive for. And that's what I try and do with all my clients. Any client I've got, like, what's the goal? And then we'll break it down into smaller goals. So it's not like one big end goal. So you've got one big end goal and you're never going to get anywhere. Because people think, oh my God, it's too far away. Like one lad on for me, he's a big lad, like a heavy lad. He's tall, which helps, but like getting him to lose weight. And when you can see it coming off so quickly. But I've broken it up into sections. I said, like, let's lose 5 kilos this month, but let's do it like this. And then next month, go and do another 5 kilos, or try and get as close to 5 kilos. It's not going to be a problem if you don't get there, but we will get there. It's not like everyone has a bad week, or not a bad week, but like you have a bad day and you think, oh, that's it. I think it's ruined me. Like we were saying earlier about the Maccas. Well, you can go from McDonald's, right? And one meal's not going to hurt you. It's what you do after. Or you can go out on a night out for some drinks. It's what you do before, maybe like dropping a few calories up before. And then, that next day when you wake up and you're feeling a bit rough, having those meals prepped where you can just go downstairs, put it in the microwave, or you've got the ingredients there to just chuck it together. Like, even if it's just a wrap with chicken in, just something with carbs, protein, just to keep your protein intake up, keep your carbs up. I know it's boring. It can be mundane, but it'll get you your goal.
Just going back to that point though, your coach said, I didn't think you'd get through this. Yeah. What got you through it?
I don't know. I don't know, really. I just I got so hooked with it. Like, I knew that I'd structured my week. So whatever shifts I was working, I'd structure it how I'd need to. Like, sometimes I'd leave work at 6 a.m, like in the morning, after I'd done a 12-hour night shift, and I'd go straight and do my cardio. And it was like a bit of like, I bet myself I couldn't do it. And I'd go and do it. And
so you're almost betting on yourself that you couldn't do it, but you're betting on yourself to do it.
Yeah, basically. It's like it was like constant fight, you versus you.
Yeah.
And that's with any diet, any training program. You know, like you go for a run, it's you versus you.
Yeah.
So, like, that's how I played it.
That's great. So, like, a lot of people see bodybuilding as kind of a physical thing.
Yeah.
But it's not just physical, is it? There's so much more goes into it. Mindset, we've talked about really, really quickly. So, cover a little bit on that, on the mindset thing.
Mindset for me really is just having this, like we said, the structure there. If you don't have anything built around you, you're not going to get anywhere with it. Because I could give you every tool in the book, but if you're not going to structure it, you're not going to do anything with it, then it's not going to work. So, for instance, I cook all my meals on a Sunday from Monday to Wednesday. All the meals that I'm going to prep, and I have like 2 fresh meals a day. So it'll be my eggs and my oats. I have those fresh because prepped eggs and prepped oats are all right. I have them overnight anyway, but prepped eggs are vile. I don't think they've reheated eggs in the microwave. They go dry. Not very nice. I've had to do it, but yeah, you've got like, I have 2 chicken meals a day and a beef mince meal a day, but I eat like that because I know I can eat like that. If he tells me to eat a bag of sand, I'll eat a bag of sand because I know that's how I'm going to get there. If I said to one of my clients, I'll eat this, and they'd be like, no, you've got no chance. Yeah. So it's just one of those things that you have to go, okay, I'll find another alternative for you. I just get what given and eat it. So the mindset thing for me then would be just like, I know that's going to work. He's not telling me he's not telling me to do it because it's not going to work. He's telling me to do it because it will work.
Yeah. It sounds like to me as well that swap over of this being something that you're fully consumed in. And I wonder for you, when did it become not just a hobby and something that you do because it's what you do and it's your life?
I think after that first prep, I went a bit mad after with food because I went on a proper binge and I nearly died in the sea. I put on 12 kilos in about 10 days in just water weight. I was stage weight 86 kilos and I went up to 97 kilos because I went, I finished my show. I went to London, ate loads in London, and then like 4 days after I went off to Greece, and I was obviously on the all-inclusive breakfasts and lunches, dinners, and I must have been having like best part of 7,000 to 10,000 calories a day, easy. Just eat. I can eat like loads. If you said to me, "Oh, let's go out," and I could finish one of those platters in Beefy Boys, no drama, on my own. And I hopped in the sea. This guy bet me I couldn't backflip off the boat. We did this like sunset cruise. He bet I could backflip off the boat. And I was like, well, I will then. So I did. Backed off the boat fine. But then because I had so much glycogen running around my system, my legs cramped up, my arms cramped up. I couldn't move. I was just in the sea, like trying to lie back. Like, luckily I managed to get myself to the side, but it took them ages to get the ladder in the water. So I was just like trying to, honestly, I reckon another couple of minutes I'd have gone. Right, man. It was horrific.
That's crazy.
Horrific.
That's crazy, yeah.
Yeah. Like basically what I'm trying to say is if you ever get down to the point where you deprive your body of everything, apart from like what you need, like protein, carbs and fats, if you ever deprive your body to the point where you're that lean, you're sub 5% body fat, and then you go and smash a load of food, you won't be able to go for a run the next day. Your legs will just swell up too quick. And your body full of glycogen. You don't really realise how much your body, induces itself when it eats crap food. Basically.
So it was that show then that changed your mindset from it being this one-off challenge to something that you're probably going to do for the rest of your life now.
Yeah, going back to what I was saying, so I went off on a bit of a tangent saying I need to die.
That is a great story to tangent.
So like after that show, I went on a bit of a binge, lost the plot with food, just started eating whatever I wanted to. Put on not loads of fat, but I just went a bit watery and a bit fluffy. Wasn't happy with how I looked, and that sort of then made me go, "What are you doing, Lee? Sort yourself out. You got in good nick 2 months ago, and now you look like a snow yeti." Do you know what I mean? You look a bit watery and fluffy. So I was like, "Oh, let me sort myself out." So I did that then. I thought, right, let's get back on what I was doing. Don't do it as harsh. Still go out for meals. Still go out drinking. Still okay. You can still stay in good nick all year round and be able to do that as well. So that's what I did. Turned it all around. And then that's made me sort of structure then how I do my, like, you won't see me eat crap food really in the week. Like I'll constantly eat my prep meals in the week, and then say like yesterday, for instance, I had 2 meals before I left for Cheltenham because I knew I wasn't going to be able to get my stuff in. So I had eggs at 6, and then I had at 10 a.m. just before I left, I had a chicken bagel. And then I knew I was going to have crap food there, and a few beers. But like this morning, I woke up and like I stopped drinking at 6 yesterday because I knew I was going to be like, it would feel rough. So I stopped drinking at like 6 yesterday, and that was me done. I was sound, and I woke up this morning leaner than I was yesterday morning, only because I was dry.
That's mad.
Yeah, but that's only because of the alcohol just drive me out.
I've got a quick question on that. A myth that I heard recently, that sometimes a bodybuilder will drink a bottle of wine the night before a stage show.
It can be true, yeah.
To just wipe out all the water in their body.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that.
No,
I'd take a pill called diazepam pill.
Yeah,
which basically just like it's like a diuretic. Don't know if they're legal or not, so I don't know if. But yeah, diazepam pill, and it basically just makes you wee on the hour every hour. Like honestly, I'm not even joking. The last show I did, I think I woke up like 7 times the night for a wee, but it was like a full flow. It wasn't like just. And I was like, where is this water coming from? Because I hadn't drunk anything since 5 p.m.
Yeah,
and I was still weeing like a full wee till like 5 a.m., 6 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah.
But I woke up with like lines that I've never seen before in my legs.
Where'd you buy these from? Send.
Yeah, we'll have to check that one over before we post this.
It did give me esophagitis though, because it dries everything out.
Yeah.
It gave like so. Then after the show, I went and had some food because my dad couldn't make it, so me and my mum went for some food in shows in Coventry. Went for some food, and I had like a couple of fizzy cocktails and whatnot, and then and something to eat, and then I was like burping loads because I hadn't eaten like crap food for God knows how long. Like that was probably I think that was a 23-week prep, so I hadn't eaten anything bad for 23 weeks. Right. And I started to get like, real weird pains up here, and then I went out for I went to Hambow, Worcester actually for a burger with my dad. Then when I got back, did the same thing, and I had a burger. I think I had a beer and a soft drink, and I was doing the same thing, burping it, and then I like completely ruptured it. It was for like a few days after. I couldn't eat, I couldn't swallow, and every time I like belched or anything like that or coughed, the pain going through my chest was unreal. That was self-diagnosis, esophagitis, but that's what every time I chat GPT or anything, that's what it said was. So there is like a nasty side to bodybuilding where what you don't realise is the amount of crap your body goes through, basically.
Yeah. Do you think that's sustainable?
No. It is to a degree. Because like taking steroids and different things like that, like you do need to get your bloods done. Like I get my bloods done every 3 months. I don't understand why people that don't get the bloods done, they're like, oh, I'll be fine. I've got nothing going on. I was like, you don't know what's going on inside. How do you know your body, your kidney and livers aren't giving up? Like you don't. So I get mine done. My bloods I've just had come back now, literally the best I've ever had. And I don't know what changed. I've changed something, and they've come back. Like my kidney function is great, like liver function is great, red blood cells back intact. There's loads of stuff on there, and this come back the best I've ever had. So my coach, Ron's literally gone to me. He's like, "Well, we're doing this, and this time because they've come back so good."
Brilliant. So, like with triathlon, with running, there's always that structure we need to put in training plans. So what does a general week to week, day to day in that week look like?
So I haven't changed my actual training program itself for probably, I think nearly 10 months now, because I knew what I wanted to build up, and that's what we've built up. So, and I still want to put a little bit on. Like I was meant to do a show this year. I don't know if you spoke about it. I was going to do a show this year. I basically pulled out the prep. I was like, my head's not in it, which was a big thing for me at the time because all I wanted to do this year was get on stage, get a pro card. Like that's what I wanted. And my head wasn't in it. I was looking at myself and I was like, my shoulders aren't round enough. My hamstrings haven't dropped enough. Like I'm just not happy. And I turned around and I said, well, me and my coach spoke about it and I said, I'm not happy, mate. And I said, there's no point me going through this, putting my body through the torture of going through I think it was going to be a 20-week prep before you even stood on stage. So I was just like, I'm not doing that over summer as well. If I don't want to do it, it's just going to wreck me. And it's probably put me in a bit of a hole where I either do the show and never do them again and hate it, or get to the point where I just pull out and I've just wasted God knows how much time and effort, God knows how much money, and it's just got nowhere. So
I think that's important for people to hear, though, isn't it? Because it's so easy for us to all say to each other, just push through. And I think if your head's not in it, your body's not going to be in it, and you're not going to be in the best shape.
You're not, because you're not going to put your all into your training. You probably know that from running. If you don't feel good, why would you go out and put yourself through it? Sometimes, yes, don't get me wrong, I'll go to the gym and I'll be like, oh, I can't be arsed today. Like everyone, that's what people need to realise as well, is people like me still go to the gym and think, oh, I can't be bothered today.
Yeah.
People look at me and go, oh, he's in the gym all the time, he loves it. I don't. Some days I think, oh my God, I can't think of anything worse. But sometimes you have to just push through that session. But that's one session. It's not, a 10-week dieting phase. Like I dieted for 6 weeks to go to IB for this year. And that was probably the most fun I've had in a diet ever.
Really?
Yeah, because I was just lax with it. I didn't need to be like, oh God, Louis, you can't do that. You can't do that. I still went out a couple of times. Me and Luce went out for a few meals, and I still got down to like, I think I was like just 10% body fat, just about 10% body fat, and we still went out for meals and stuff.
Yeah.
So,
what percent body fat are you when you're up on stage?
sub 5.
Sub 5.
Yeah. And I mean, like, you'll walk around with no shoes on in the house, or like anything on like solid ground, and you bruise the bottom of your heels because there's no flesh there anymore.
Wow.
Yeah, it's horrible.
That's crazy.
You don't, like, people don't realise, like, I was speaking to my coach about it. I was speaking to Ron about it, and he was like, I was like, when you were on stage, right? Because he's got his IFBB Pro card this year, which is, you can't get any better than what he's done. He's at the top of his game now. Apart from, he said to me he's a shit pro because he's not big enough. But he's in great nick. He said he was walking around behind stage this year, and I said to him about it last year, and he was like, oh, stop lying. Do you know what I mean? And he was walking around backstage this year, and he went, man, my feet are killing. And he said, I don't know what it's from. I said, there's no body fat on your mate. I was like, look at the bottom of your feet. There's no, you push the pads on the bottom of your feet, there's nothing there. It's like thin skin.
Right.
So, yeah, he was like, oh, I believe you now.
I want to visualise it. Like, it's I've got plenty of fat on them.
Well, you've actually now sitting on your ass for a few weeks.
But you get down to that body fat percentage. I'd never encourage anyone to get down to that body fat percentage if you don't want to do it, because it's not nice.
No, that's purely top level bodybuilding. That percentage,
it's not top level bodybuilding, but it's something you should be to get on stage. Okay. I think if you're not sub 7, sub 8, sub 7% body fat, don't even bother going on stage because you're not conditioned enough. Like, I full well will say, when I went on stage for the first time in 2023, I wasn't conditioned enough.
What percentage were you then?
I was probably sub 10, but I wasn't conditioned enough.
No.
The percentage, if you're not, I don't know how I'm going to say this. The percentage as it goes down, the amount of conditioning you can bring out per percent is way bigger than if you went from, say, 15 to 12. If you went from, say, 8 to 5%, you'd see so much more difference than you would from 15 to 12. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Yeah. Like, I can remember I went out, I didn't go out, I just went and met with the boys down at the pub, and we sat in the sun this time, last year in the summer. And it was a week before my show, and I sat there, and when I got down there, my legs weren't really that veiny. They were veiny, but they weren't that veiny. And then I sat in the sun. Obviously, it brings the blood to the surface, doesn't it, when you're sat in the sun because it's warm? And I had literally like a road map on my legs. And the boys looking at my legs going, he looks ill, mate.
Wow. So back to the week to obviously get to that. How many days a week are you training? How many hours a week are you training?
So I train 5 times a week. And then I train, I should go to the gym 7 times, still do my cardio on a Wednesday and a Sunday. They're my active rest days.
Yeah.
I was going to get cardio equipment at home, but I think if I had it at home, I would use it. I say I wouldn't use it, but I quite like to go down to the gym. It's a little bit of social interaction. So you get to speak to people that, you don't always see. So it's quite nice as well. And that gym is great because it's a bit of a social thing as well. So yeah, I train 5 times a week, and I split that up. I have 2 leg days, a push day, pull day, and a arms. Which I used to hate training arms. because I just find it mundane and boring. But this year we've actually implemented an arm day, and it's made my training so much better. Because I actually enjoy it now. Because I was just chucking it in at the end of the session.
Right.
When you chuck, it's like calves and stuff like that. When you chuck them in at the end of a session, you just don't do it. Well, not don't do it, but you just don't like to do it. You don't put your all into it. So if I train calves now, like I'll do it at the start.
Yeah.
So it's just like structuring you. If you do this stuff you don't like first, you'll do it. You'll do it better.
Yeah. I'd say that's the same with running and swimming
Definitely,
and
100%. Yeah.
training.
So, how important and where does recovery fit into your?
So sleep is massive. If you're not getting enough hours of sleep, you're not going to lose weight. You're not going to lose body fat, or you're not going to put on your body's not going to recover. So I always structure my week. So I'd have a leg day on a Monday, push Tuesday, Wednesday active rest day, and then an arm session, because it's not arms isn't going to write your body off anywhere else. It's just going to write your arms off. Whereas when you train chest or you train back, it's writing everything around here off. So I have arms. That's another day. I'd class arms as an active rest day, but it's not, because it's not really that intense. It is an intense session, but it's not intense on your body. And then Friday, another leg day, and then back on a Saturday.
Love it.
And then Sunday, just down the gym and then cooking food. Just
All day cooking
Makes
food.
sense so easy, though, doesn't
Yeah. It does. You talked about, and I'm glad you said it, because people, I've had a similar sort of myth to me that he must love running, and you say, well, no, he must just love going to the gym. And you talked about how the days that you don't want to go down there, you still go down there.
Yeah.
And that's discipline, isn't it?
Yeah, that's just, yeah.
How important is discipline to get to where you want to get to, or to where anyone wants to get to in life?
If you don't have any discipline, you're not going to get anywhere, are you? Because it's not going to work. If you can, if I could get away with going to the gym once a week, twice a week, and still staying in great neck, why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Your body, if your body can do nothing and look better, why wouldn't you do it? But people don't realise that if you want nice things in life, you need to have a bit of discipline about you. You need to put your body through it.
Yeah.
You don't earn money by sitting on the sofa watching telly, do you? Like it's the same with a job. Jobs it's massive discipline for people. So I mean, you get to go to a job you don't want to go to, which is most of the time. Like you still do it every day, don't you?
Yeah.
You know, you couldn't be able to have even put food in the fridge. So that's a massive thing, I think, as well.
Yeah.
Well, love it. So you've gone from athlete to coach yourself. Now you're coaching your own clients and your own athletes. What inspired that shift then from athlete to coach?
My missus, really. She does online coaching with another girl, and they've absolutely smashed it. To be fair to them, like they've got some great transformations of girls. They only coach girls, and they've done a great job. Like I couldn't fault any of their coaching in any way, shape, or form. They get girls that hate training to start loving training. Still manage to go out on their little girly nights out, and stuff like that. And these girls, like literally, they do photo shoots with these girls as well, which is another thing I think. So she sort of pushed me into it. She said, "Oh, why don't you start coaching?" And I was like, "Oh no, I can't bother with it." And she's like, "It'd be the easiest. It'd be not the easiest money you'll ever make. That's the wrong thing to say. It'd be the easiest thing you'll ever do. Because if it becomes a lifestyle thing and you end up, doing it as your job all the time," she said, "You'll love it."
Yeah, but it ends up not being a job.
Yeah,
Because
that's it.
so
Yeah,
much,
because you love it. Because you're like, "Oh, all I'm doing is, basically messaging people back, going, yes, do this, do that." Like I actively encourage all my clients to text me most days, or text me anytime they need anything, because it's nothing worse than a lot of them I've converted from having an in-person PT, because having an in-person PT, you get to see them, say you're paying for 3 hours a week. I don't know how much that costs, because I've never been PT by anyone, but you're in-person PT by them. That's it. You don't see them again until next week.
Yeah.
And they don't care about you until next week. Whereas I'll care about you all the time.
Yeah.
So 24. So if I'm up at 2 a.m. and you message me at 2 a.m. going, "I've just had a McDonald's. I feel like I've, fucked my diet up all week." It's like, I'd be sat there going, "Right, what do you have? What can we do tomorrow to like sort of not even it out, but make it better?" It's all that sort of stuff. It's the care that I give them. There's no boundary really. I don't turn my phone off at 9 o'clock and don't reply. Like, I'll always reply to them, and they obviously get a weekly check-in, they get a full diet structure. Everything's changed quick. Like, if you said to me, I was coaching you, and you said, "Oh, Lou, I'm really struggling to eat the rice in this meal." We're like, all right, cut it out, chuck something else in there, and we can literally do that in seconds, rather than you have to wait a week to think about it, and then go, actually, I've been forcing myself to eat it. Now I hate this diet. Now I don't want to do it.
Yeah. So
it's one of those things. I think online coaching really, for what I want to do, lifestyle coaching, making someone feel better about themselves. They take the top off when they go on holiday. They feel great. I don't particularly want to put anyone through a prep. I'd like to put someone through a bodybuilding prep, but I've not really got to that level where I'm confident, comfortable putting someone through the trenches, because they are going through the trenches in its prep.
Yeah.
Like, I'm quite happy just, getting lads into good nick, and they're happy they go on holiday and think, I've got here, I've done this.
Yeah. That's it. And when, I guess you can answer this from yourself, but also probably more on the coaching angle, but what is one of the first mistakes that you feel or see that when you've taken people on board that they make straight away? Like, what's a common mistake that people make?
Sometimes I don't read the diet. And like, I had one lad, he started with me, bless him, and he didn't say anything to me all week. And I got to Sunday and I put his check-in in, and he said, "Oh yeah, stuck to the diet all week." And I messaged him back going, "Everything okay with the diet?" And he messaged me back and he went, "Mate, how do you do this every day? Like, I'm just having boiled chicken and rice and stuff." Like, he wanted chicken and rice because he said, "I enjoy that meal anyway." And I was like, I said, "You put any spices or flavorings on?" He went, "No, I've been having everything with no flavouring." Yeah. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, no. Change that. You can have as much spices and stuff as you want. If you're going to have as much as you want, just be consistent with it. Because, like, if you, like, for whatever reason, you go put in 50 grams of mayo in a wrap, and then one day you do 20 grams, and the next day you're doing 80 grams, like, you need to keep it consistent.
Yeah.
So once you know how much you want in there, keep it at that. Because then that's your body get used to having those calories. And then you'll be all right then. Because I still have full fat sauces all the way through my prep, right until the very end, where I think, right, let's see if we can get a little bit more off.
Yeah.
And go back to 0 cal sauces. And those 0 cal sauces are like drinking paste.
Yeah.
They're horrible.
Yeah. That's good for people to hear though. But like, I literally, I'm going to share a story from this morning. You said about them not reading the diet. My mum's ringing me this morning, drawing her run assessment and saying, "What am I doing?" I'm like, "Mum, you should have looked at this before you started the session."
Yeah.
And she's like, "I can't see it on my watch." And I was like, "You need to be looking at this. You need to be practicing this before you're doing the thing." And then I put the phone down. And I thought I should have just said, "Mum, you're doing a great job. Well done." But I didn't. But like, I think that's a fair point, isn't it? But I think going back to your 24/7 offering, in which is what we offer as coaches, not a PT, is that don't be overwhelmed by the diet I've given you, and don't ask questions. Don't feel that you can't ask questions. Do ask questions anytime, any day of whatever week, because if you don't, it's going to go wrong. Then you're going to think that our relationship is working, and it's just not going to end well, is it?
No. And this is the thing, like, I've got on the app I've got for the coaching, I get them to connect their Apple Watch, get them to connect their MyFitnessPal, so I can actually physically see what they're eating. So I said, if you go off on a tangent, put it down. I said, I'm not going to give you a bollocking at the end of the week saying, why on earth have you done that? Like, obviously, if they went to McDonald's 4 days in a row, I'd be like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
But I'm not going to be like, if you have
It's a true story then, isn't it?
Yeah, I'd rather see it. And then when we get to the end of the week and you've only lost, say, 0.2 of a kilo instead of I've predicted like 0.5, I'm then going to go, it's all right. She or he couldn't train. She couldn't train Thursday, Friday, and they've had McDonald's or they've had something before their check-in. I actively encourage them as well, if they're going to check in with me on a Sunday or a Saturday. They always check in with me on a Sunday. I've got one client checks in on Monday, sorry. But if they're going to have a cheat meal on the Saturday, check in on the Saturday, because I want to see a consistent thing over the week. Because if you check in with me on a Sunday and you've been out on the piss all day, you've had God knows what food after you've been to the Golden Galleon and smashed chicken out of cheesy chips and curry sauce, you're going to wake up a watery mess. Do you know what I mean? So best thing to do is, if you've been consistent all week, get your check-in done on a Saturday, because then then your week actually worked.
Yeah.
And then we can sort out your Sunday. We can make your Sunday better, because I'll know you've gone out, and I can say, right, look, have this, and it's just sort of having a bit of a game plan with people all the time. I think having a game plan, and having like a relationship with a person is the main thing.
Yeah.
Because if you don't have that, you're not going to build anything.
No.
What's next for you, mate, as an athlete and as a coach then? What's your journey? Where you heading?
Ideally, I'd like to take the coaching completely full time. But it's just building a client base, like once you get a bit of rapport, word of mouth stuff, like it does go hand in hand. Like I've had a couple of people come to me, so-and-so's recommended me to you, which is great. Like I'm happy when people do that. It makes my life better, and I like to help people. My main goal is helping people, but I want to take that full time if I can, because I'm an industrial sparky by trade, or electrical engineer. So I do enjoy that, but I'm getting too old. But my knees are battered, my hips are battered. Getting down on my knees to put a socket on the wall now, like it doesn't hurt or anything, but after like 6, I feel it. I'm only 25, and that's not great, is it? So ideally, sitting at home doing check-ins, doing different workout plans for people. That'd be my ideal job. And then athlete-wise, I think next year I want to get a pro card, and then like this year have another year off after in 2027, just to relax a bit and enjoy life a bit more. And then you see bodybuilders now until they're into their mid-30s and they're in good nick, and so maybe keep going with the bodybuilding. Or I've spoke to a few boys about becoming a bit of a hybrid athlete, trying to change it up, but I don't enjoy running enough at the moment to do that. So
well, you've got some coaches you ready for that, mate.
Yeah, I'm not enjoying it, like running this, like cycling. I'd rather go out and do like 30 miles than a 3-mile run.
Yeah,
it's something about running, but I think that's a mental thing for me. So if I ever come to the point where I'm thinking, right, let's change my training up a bit, let's go and do some runs, then I think that'd be something for me. If I can mentally do it, I'll be fine.
Yeah. You talked about this pro card a few times. What's different between the preps and the shows you've done to get in that pro card? Is it just the elite? Is it the next level?
Yeah, it's just coming in undeniable. Just coming in that little bit leaner, that little bit, sharper.
Is it a completely different entry contestant?
No. So to get in a pro card, you basically get entered in. You get entered into the national comps that I've been doing, and then you can either go and do the finals, or sometimes you can turn up at a show and they'll be like, "Look, we're getting up 3 pro cards today." So getting a pro card basically means for me, I just have to win the show. Like I have to win the show, and I have to win it in obviously and hopefully win the overall at the end as well. So if you win your categories, so they say there's like 8 categories, and you've got classic bodybuilders, junior bodybuilder, class 1, class 2, class 3 bodybuilders. So they're all different heights, weights, and God knows what. The classic, you could have classic tall and classic short. Unfortunately, I fall into classic tall. So like I could be up against someone who's 120 kilos on stage. Like I've got a photo of me stood next to this lad. He's my age. He's an absolute monster. I don't know what they feed him. He lives in Bradford. I don't know what they feed him. He's 106 kilos lean on stage, and I'm 86. So you think standing next to him, I have to come in that condition to beat him.
How do you beat it then? What the judges looking for?
So judges look for symmetry, how lean you actually are, and how comfortable and good you look in the poses.
Do they test your body fat?
No, it's nothing to do with that.
It's all visual.
It's generally visual.
Yeah.
So you could turn up at a show one day. Like I know, for instance, Ron last year, my coach, he turned up at PCA. He finished 4th or 5th. He went to a 2 Bros show. 2 Bros is like next level. So that 2 Bros is where I want to go. The athletes are just slightly more better. They've got a bit of a PCA is very broad. You get like first timers to people that, I say first timers, these lads are in good nick. They're not like a few lads that have gone down the gym for a few weeks and thought, just step on stage. Like these lads have been in a prep for a long time too. But 2 Bros, he went to 2 Bros and won the overall. He won everything. So it's generally what they look at. You could be in the best nick you want. You could be in the best nick on stage, but if you can't pose, you're not going to win. Okay. So it's having everything consistently. So being that lean, being that symmetrical, and being, you know, good at your posing, then that's what. And like, people don't realise as well. I know it looks stupid. You stand there on stage in stupid little trunks and pose. If you're not conditioned for your posing, your body starts to go flat, and people don't realise that. You don't look necessarily flat, but you could look better in the first round than you would look in the fifth.
Yeah.
But me and Ron have done that much conditioning. Like for my posing, I'd look better in the third round than I do in the first. It's like fitness, but not. You know what I mean? It's like fitness in posing. And if I got you lads to do a round of posing, you'd be bollocks at the end of it.
And we look like idiots. We would look bad.
I reckon we should give that a go, you know.
Not like a calendar.
Yeah. We'll do it down the garage.
But honestly, like, you go and do a round of posing, you'll be puffing out your ass.
Really?
Yeah.
And it looks so elegant on stage, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And it's like, I think it's a factor to bodybuilding. People don't realise that getting into a pose and the angle can probably change massively. And lighting's a big thing in all this as well, isn't it?
Yeah. They generally always get, like, Ron's skin's very dark, so they generally get him on stage a lot to test the lighting. Like, I've been there before where he's had to go on stage and test the lighting because his skin's so dark, and obviously when believe it or not, he puts tan on when he goes on stage, and then they glaze him. Then you wear like a special, like, or it's like an oil, but it's like sticky. It's vile. It's like sticky, and it glazes you. But he generally can look quite flat under white light, but he's not. It's just how the lighting works. So, going back to that, it's like you're posing and everything. If you don't angle yourself right, the judges sit here, so they're looking at you like they look up at you. So what I do, like what me and Ron do when we're practicing posing, like, I'll sit on the floor and watch him because it's pointless otherwise. Because I could say, yeah, you look good from this angle, mate, but if I go down and you look crap from there, that's where the judges see you.
Yeah. It's about applying the right preparation for the exact thing that you're going to be doing.
Yeah.
Which is probably really hard to recreate.
Yeah, it is, because obviously you've got no mirror in front of you when you're on stage.
Yeah.
You can see yourself all the time I generally practice my posing without a mirror there.
But film it.
Yeah. So I'll film it from like down there. I'll probably try I've done it before, got Lucy's phone to film it from up here.
You get two
so
angles,
you've got two angles. Not that anyone ever sees you from that angle.
Yeah.
But it's nice to have that look, like, that's how everyone takes photos, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that's how you generally look. So like, but seeing yourself from that angle, you can go, right, I need to lean forward. Like, my lats aren't showing enough. It's an art, but I think bodybuilding posing, people don't realise that. You think you just stand on stage, hold your arms up a bit, tense your biceps, but it's not.
There's a lot in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just touching back in on the nutrition section for a little minute. What's one piece of nutrition advice you think not just bodybuilders but people should know generally?
Being consistent with your foods. Not consistently eat shit, obviously, but like, people go to me, I hear it all the time, I don't eat that bad. And you think, well, what are you eating then? Because you're severely overweight. Because you shouldn't look like that if you don't eat that bad. So a lot of the things are people like secret eaters and they don't realise it. So I watched a show recently, like, it was a girl, and she, every time her kid had a snack, she would have one, but not count it, and then have her meals on top. So she's probably having an extra 1,000 calories a day and not even considering it. And then she was putting weight on. She's like, I don't know why I'm putting weight on, because look at the meals I'm eating. And what she was actually eating was quite healthy. But when she was giving her kid like a chocolate bar or like a yogurt, she was doing that. So the nutritional advice for me would be to have discipline a bit and think, right, what am I eating? Is this good? What's the macros in it? I say that, don't really have to look at the macros, but just look at the calories. If the calories are horrific, if you know you're only burning 2,000 calories a day, don't go and eat 2,500.
Yeah.
Because you're going to put weight on. Yeah. You're eating in a 500 calorie surplus.
Simple.
Yeah.
Rachel talked a lot about that yesterday, didn't she? The calorie deficit is the only way to lose weight.
Yeah. But there's also another thing with calorie deficits. I could give you a full chicken and rice diet and not chicken and rice. I say chicken and rice too much. If I give you a full diet where the macros are perfect, say you're eating 1,800 calories a day, then I could give you 1,800 calories worth of donuts. You'll still be both in a deficit. Say you're both burning 2,000 calories, you both be in a deficit, but you will look horrific compared to what he would look.
Yeah.
Because people don't realise as well, if you don't have enough protein, you're going to look quite watery. You have too much carbs, you're going to look quite watery.
You said that quite a lot, like being watery. Just explain for
So watery, like I say, watery. You your face will be a bit podgy, like you won't have much, of a jawline. It's how do you put it? It's to do with like glycogen and different things like that. So if your cortisol levels are high, you're going to generally be puffy in the face. You can have a puffy body basically. And when I have clients start with me, when I put them on a decent diet, they instantly, first week, I reckon 9 times out of 10, they'll lose between 2 to 3 kilos because the water weight comes off and they don't look as watery. You can see it in photos because I get every client to take, obviously they start with me, they take front, side and back photos so I can see what they look like, what we need to build up, what they're missing training wise. And then like that first week to the first photos to the first week photos, like 9 times out of 10, they're like their stomach's gone flatter. I had one lad, I reckon he must have lost like 4 kilos in a week.
Yeah.
Because he was
in a week then.
Yeah. Because I was like, mate, you've lost like, I think it was like 3.5 kilo he lost. And I was like, mate, what were you eating? Because he told me what he was eating before. He's like, I must have been eating more than what I was eating before. I said, well, because he was like, oh yeah, I have a bag of crisps, chocolate bar. And that was his lunch. And like a sugary monster and things like that. And I was like, right, cut that out. We're finishing that. That doesn't need to be there. He's having cream cheese bagels for breakfast and different things like that. And and people wonder why they don't lose weight. Like, their body gets used to eating that, so they won't generally put any more weight on than what they're putting on if they eat the same thing every day. But they'll never look good.
No, I think that's. I know you've probably seen those comparison pictures where it's like a slice of cake, 350 calories, and then that's one item, and then over here there's like 4 items that get you the same calories but get you the nutrition. And I think Rachel touched on this quite a lot yesterday in the nutrition segment. It's about putting the right calories back in, and equally for us, like she was saying, if you've burned an extra 1,000 by being on the bike, getting that 1,000 back in could be easy with a couple of donuts, like you mentioned, but getting it in the right way is actually quite hard.
Yeah.
But you won't have the energy if you eat the donuts, but you will if you eat the right things.
I don't know if this is a myth or not. I've never actually fact checked it, but after, say you have a heavy weight session, I mean like proper heavy, you come out of there feeling like mentally and physically drained. That's the best time to have have a protein shake or have something with protein in it. But that's, if you wanted to have a slice of cake, that's the best time to have a slice of cake because your body will just absorb it. It will take all those carbs and use them.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know whether that's completely true.
I want to touch on that, what you just said, though, because we asked Rachel the question yesterday about the time window of eating after a training session. So we were saying, you see it, it's stereotypical when a lifter or a gymmer is leaving the gym, they're getting a protein shake in them. Is that a placebo or is that proactively doing a good thing?
I don't generally have a protein shake after a session.
Okay, so there you go. So you got a bodybuilder who has proven when he gets up on stage, the way he looks, you look great, you're fantastic. You don't do it. No. Why did the general public do that then?
Because it's given to them in adverts. Drink this and you'll look like me. It doesn't work. It works obviously, but it's not. It's just an advertising thing.
Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong. I have occasionally had a protein shake when I've left the gym.
Yeah.
But that's only because someone's bought one for me. I've never go actively out my way to buy one.
Yeah.
What I would do is within a 45-minute window, I'd go home and I'd have decent carbs, like non-starchy carbs, and high protein, like derivative.
Yeah.
That's what you do.
Yeah.
And get in, and generally 9 times out of 10, you shouldn't be eating any veg in your post-workout meal because there's no need for it. You're just filling yourself up with nothing.
Yeah.
Get your protein, get your carbs in.
You say 45 minutes. Is that like the magic window then for you in general?
I think your body for 45 minutes after is crying out for something. So have it. That's the best time to have it. Or 45 minutes after any heavy training session, any heavy run, anything like that. If you were going to have that shit meal that week, have that shit meal then.
Right. Yeah.
If you know if you know on a Friday you're going in for a heavy leg session, or you're going for a 15k run, or whatever you're going to do, go and have that shit meal after it, because that's the best time to have it.
Yeah.
That's what I would say to my clients. Or yeah, just make sure 45 minutes is like, for me, and like everyone that I've spoken to about it have said 45 minutes is like not a magic window, but it's like, that's the way
Ideal.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's interesting, isn't it?
I'm all over it.
You can put a big session in later and then have a couple of donuts.
Yeah.
Louis said it, so I'm doing it.
And then as well, like, it's being mindful of what you eat,
Yeah.
like cheat meal wise. That's another thing, massive thing for people, because they'll go, I'm gonna have a cheat meal this week, and they won't. I like to calorie. Oh, what's it called? What's the word? Where you sort of calorie bank. So you say you said to me, right, Louis, I'm checking in with you this week, whatever. So I'm going out for me and the missus having a Domino's on Friday night. I'll be like, right, okay. So Thursday, I'll probably say, try and get rid of 300 calories. So you're eating 300 calories into a deficit, even more, if you can.
Yeah.
And then when you're having that Domino's, have the Domino's, but don't go and have a large pizza, a side, and cookies, because you've just wasted a whole week of dieting.
Yeah.
Because you've just had your daily intake probably for 3 days.
So is there a potential there then that it's kind of either a total or an average for a week? Because I think some people think as well at midnight it resets. it doesn't. It's not like that. No. Don't work like that.
No. And the later you eat, like, people go, I have it before where I've had a client said, I haven't lost as much weight this week. She lost 0.3 of a kilo, but I haven't lost as much weight this week. And I was like, well, okay. I said, have you changed the flooring in where you weigh? Because that's another thing. Like, if you weigh on a carpet, you'll weigh less than you would if you weigh on hard. If you won't give you a nice and I can't speak. You won't give yourself an accurate reading weighing on carpet, because you're like all over the place. Whereas if you do it on hard flooring, you get the same sort of thing every time. And I always encourage them to take 3 weights. So step on the scales, step off the scales. You might write it down or keep it in your head. Step on it again, step off, step on it again. Add them all up, take the average, or take the lowest one, which is what usually, but it's the best thing to do. Is take the lowest.
Do it.
Yeah, and I would do the same probably, to be quite frank. I just get up the scales in the morning, I weigh on a Sunday, that's it. And it is what it is on there. But I encourage my clients to do that, because sometimes they'll step on the scales and go, and like, scales are a big thing for people, isn't it? People look at the scales and go, I haven't lost any weight. So I went off on a tangent again. What was the original question? What do you say?
Forgot now.
I can't remember now. I think it was about.
Eat. I'll say, yeah. So eat it like eating.
Yeah, for the whole week.
Yeah. So midnight. Like eating. So like she said to me, "Oh no, I've weighed in the same place. I've done everything the same." I said, "When was your last meal?" She said, "Oh, we didn't get back from this show till late, and I had my last meal at 10 p.m." I said, "When do you usually have your last meal?" "Oh, about 5:30, 6." I was like, "Well, there you go then." I was like, "Your body hasn't been able to absorb that food as much as it would have if you." So essentially, if she's eating 4 hours later, she's check in 4 hours later.
Yeah.
Because it gives you like an accurate reading of how your body would be. Because she eaten the same thing all week. She hadn't even had a cheat meal. No. So it's like, to me, I was a bit gutted for her, because she was a bit worried that she hadn't done something right, and that's another thing with people is like they don't think they're doing something right. I was like, you've done nothing wrong. It's just the fact that you've not accounted for, the meal.
I think that's the same with liquid as well, isn't it? Because I won't weigh until I've gone to the loo and had a wee.
Yeah.
Because a litre, it adds up.
That's a kilo.
Yeah. 1 litre is a kilo.
Yeah.
It's a kilo. So if you're going into a bulk and you want to be a bit heavier and you don't think you've eaten enough that week or whatever, people won't go to the toilet or anything and weigh themselves, or go in the shower and have wet hair, which gives you a bit of extra weight as well. Yeah. But stuff like having to go to the toilet every single time before you weigh gives you the accurate reading.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there a certain time that you advise not to eat after in the evening? So is it 7 o'clock? So can eat whenever?
I think eat whenever. I've never had an issue with, like, I used to do night shifts. Do you know what I mean? I still lost weight. Right. I was eating at 1 o'clock in the morning. yeah, I'd move my meals around, but eating at a certain time, your body's not going to not absorb it.
No.
I generally wouldn't say go and eat at 1 o'clock in the morning. 'Cause it's not
That's a personal question for me, because my missus always says to my kids, "Oh, it's after 8 o'clock at night, no more eating now." And I'm like, does it make a difference or not?
No, I think
Get to
For-
listen to this.
I think for kids, I think it's probably generally just E numbers, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, you don't want to bounce off the walls
Yeah,
at 8 o'clock in the evening, but I feel like the likes of you, your missus, and all that eating after 8 p.m. It's not going to kill you. It's not going to make you go, "Oh, I've just put a stone on." You know, it's not going to do that to you.
I wonder, the only thing I'd ask on that, and maybe it's something either all three of us can answer, but I feel like I sleep better if I eat earlier.
Yeah, 100%.
Generally.
Yeah, because your body's working overtime to digest the food and try.
And there's certain, I know there's certain proteins, powders that you can take that have got slow release of carbohydrates in, or general foods, aren't they?
I can't. Is it casein?
Casein, that's it.
Yeah, casein is lower rate, so you absorb it.
Yeah.
You absorb it slower.
Yeah.
So overnight, you generally absorb it better
than
you would if you had like a not fast actually shake, but just like a normal general whey protein.
Yeah.
Cool. And there's probably a lot of listeners out there that have the same question: that can anybody, no matter what body shape, what age, can anybody lose weight, get into good shape, lose the dad bod, that kind of stuff?
Yeah.
Can anybody do it?
Anyone can do it. It's just having, like I said, structure. Come in and not being afraid to go to someone and say, "Look, can you help me?" Because I know it's going to cost you a bit more money. If you want it that bad, you'll pay for it. And I think,
because they're happy enough to waste it on shit.
Yeah.
And other stuff and takeaways.
I don't know if you saw it, but I put a post up a while back on how much my coaching costs a day. And it was like a pint a day, which some people generally would have, or 2 pints a day even. And they go, "Oh, I want to lose weight. So a pint a day, that's how much my coaching costs a day. So
it depends on what their priorities are.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's massive on priorities, isn't it? Like,
yeah. We got this slogan smarter than yesterday. What's one thing that you could advise either someone nutritionally or physically or both that they could do tomorrow, for example, or today that was smarter than yesterday?
Count your calories and see what you're eating, and then see what your outgoing is, and if it's more, drop it down.
Yeah,
and look at what you're eating macro wise. See, am I getting enough protein in?
Yeah, no, that's good. I think if what you don't know, you can't change.
No. And
so by doing what you suggested, you know where you stand, basically.
And I'm all for people coming to me and going, can you help me with this? I'm not going to charge you for it. Like, if you want to sign up with me afterwards, great. If you just want some information, I'm more than happy to give out information.
Yeah.
Because I'd rather help someone short term, and for them to go, actually, he gave me a bit of advice. I might go back to him because he knows his stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's for me. Like, having people just ask. If you don't know, just ask. No question's a stupid question.
Yeah.
Cool, mate. Should we move on to our quick fire round?
Yeah, I think we should. Yeah,
Back to
definitely.
real quick fire.
Yeah, go on.
Into you. Right. One meal then you personally couldn't live without.
I reckon it's my protein oats, overnight oats. I have to have them every day.
Yeah.
Only because the toppings I can put on. I put a bit of Biscoff on top and different things like that, so it gives me a bit of a.
See, and that's the thing. Like, people go, "Oh, I can't have that. I can't have this." I would never have thought of that. See.
Yeah.
I'd have a bit of fruit, a bit of honey, Biscoff.
Yeah. And Biscoff, I generally go to Booker's and buy the squirty bottles, so you can literally physically just squirt on top, and you can see how much you're putting on. Yeah. I just put it on the scales.
Class.
Yeah. What's one lift you'll never skip?
I don't know. One lift I'll never skip. Incline chest press.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the one.
That's the chest builder. That is. If you can do anything big on that, then you can have a strong chest.
Yeah.
What's your favourite recovery or ritual?
Recovery ritual. I haven't done it for a while, but I did enjoy contrast therapy. I need to get back into it. When that reset opened, I was going in there a little bit, and I enjoyed that a lot. And it did, especially after a leg session, mellow my legs out big time.
Do you think that was physical, or do you think that was mental?
Bit of both. I think it was placebo as well, but at the same time, I did feel my legs felt a bit lighter walking out of there.
And what's the smartest lesson bodybuilding has taught you?
You can still enjoy your foods, even in a deficit, if you know what you're doing with it.
Yeah, I like that answer. It's good.
And the fact of what you were saying earlier about if you still want mayo in that wrap, do it, but do it consistently.
Yeah.
And don't fluctuate between the two.
Don't go and stick 80 grams on one day and 20 grams on another day.
No.
And then go and have 60 grams the next day. Do you know what I mean? It's just keep consistent.
Yeah.
And then then you're having X amount of calories.
Yeah, definitely.
I'll give my clients, always give them like 2 or 3 options per meal. So I've say I've got one client that loves to eat 5 times a day, which is fine. So I've given him 3 options per meal. Some of them are the same, but it's like easy go options, like a chicken. Like it says, I don't know, you've had to pop out. You haven't been able to prep your meal for whatever reason. So you've gone, all right, go into the shop, wrap, chicken, bit of salad, and some mayo.
Kangaroo.
No. There's an easy 450, 500 calories there.
Yeah.
Job done.
That's what we say the difference between having that PT that you see once a week at the gym and a coach, because you're adapting. So Darren's in the garage and he hasn't been able to prep his meals this week. And he's gone, I need to just literally nip out to the shop and get whatever I need to get.
Yeah.
You can make him feel good about the decision he's going to make, what would normally have made him feel bad.
There's even meal deal derivatives you can have that are good. I know there's the actual sandwich itself. Yes, you can get your protein in. There's a lot of saturated fat in them, or salts and stuff because of the preservatives they got put in.
Yeah.
But even like a chicken, like I don't know, BLT, chicken, lettuce and tomato. I think they do, don't they? Have that, get the eggs, and then have a sugar-free drink. Job done. Or have some water.
Yeah. So how quick then can I get ripped for holiday?
When you going on there? You could
Christmas
Day.
Christmas Day. Can I get ripped?
How many weeks you got left?
2 kg in a week.
Yeah, let's do it.
For you to get lean, and I mean like to the point where even if you're just showing two top abs, I reckon.
I've never seen them.
I reckon 10 weeks.
Really?
Yeah, but depending on your starting point. I always get people on a Zoom call because if you can see someone face to face, you can see what they're like. Because chatting over the phone is no good. Your meals might be quite well, but everything else you eat on top.
I think that's the thing, is that people aren't counting the bits in between, are they?
But people don't count like liquid calories either. You could sit there and drink, like, I don't know, say you drink a bottle of a normal Coke, like a full bottle of Coke. It was like 250 calories for 500 ml. And what you've just drunk sugar. You don't realise.
Yeah. Now we've got this bonus question from Reg.
Go on.
He wants to know where you got your teeth done.
And that is a legitimate question.
It's all he said. Yeah, smiles in London.
Smiles in London.
Yeah. They were only $2,000, so I was happy.
Louis, listen, mate. This has been really eye-opening for me, and I think Darren too, and for the listeners. So thank you very much for your time today.
I appreciate it, boys. Thank you.
Yeah, really appreciate it.
Yeah, no, I've enjoyed every second. I've learned quite a bit myself.
Yeah, we still have a bit of biscuit.
Yeah,
no, appreciate it, boys. Thank you.
Cheers, Louis.
Louis, this has been absolutely unreal. You've shown that bodybuilding isn't just about size; it's about structure, discipline, and personal growth. So thank you for sharing the journey and your mindset with us today.
So guys, thank you for watching or listening. If you think this podcast has been helpful or maybe helpful to others, please like, subscribe, comment and share. And also remember, let's be smarter than yesterday.